I'm gonna have to start calling us the prophets. That's what we do.
That's not bad.
That's what we do.
That's spinning it now.
Man, let's get this show going.
Irish Nation, happy St. Patrick's Day. At Notre Dame, it's also called Pot of Gold Day. We're the only program in the country that has a day like this, a special day dedicated to celebrate the future legacies of Notre Dame football. We're thinking bigger than we ever have. So stay tuned because we're just getting started.
Yo, happy Pot of Gold Day, LL Nation. Let's get it. You got me out here on the left coast, thoroughly enjoying myself. That guy right there, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire. I'm Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. We get it done. We spin a difference, the Lucky Lefty podcast, featuring and brought to you by Anora Whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, only AnoraWhiskey.com. It's the only way to enjoy a Saturday afternoon in front of the TV.
Well, March Madness going on right now. You get you some Anora during the March Madness.
Yeah, and Malik had the audacity to ask me how I felt about Michigan playing. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I don't give a darn. And look, I love Big Nuke. I love Big Nuke.
Yeah.
Played against Big Nuke.
All that.
Still don't care about Michigan. Like, yo.
Don't care.
Now, when it was the Fab Five, I rocked with Michigan a little bit. I can't even lie.
On a social level.
Yeah, I rocked with them. The Black Sox.
Black Sox.
Yeah. Ball head. I was like, okay, they're bringing it. So it's the first day of spring practice. Practice is over. Marcus Freeman met with the media. And we're going to talk about, we got a new name. You know, we spin it different with the lefties, with the lucky lefties. I might start calling us the prophets, bro. We might be the prophets. You know, we say stuff, and then the next thing you know, other people just confirm what we said. We'll get to that shortly. So we're going to talk about some of the things Marcus Freeman said. We're going to talk about the Pot of Gold. 24 recruits from the class of 24 have been retweeting that they got their offer and got their Pot of Gold starting this morning at about 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And it's going to be going all day, probably until this evening when you'll start seeing the West Coast kids start posting their offers. I've been talking to a lot of these kids. They're super excited. A few of them have already made plans to get up to Notre Dame this summer. And you know what was crazy, bro? You follow a kid and he follows you back.
Who? Which kid?
Dude, I picked up like 100 follows this morning, dude. Just like I'm following kids that are getting offers and they're following me back. And I'm like, yo, this, okay. I appreciate it.
They must want some of that Lucky Lefty to tap in with them on the show, man. I might just show them some love.
So we're going to get to some of your questions, but an interesting day. Yo, so I told you, you asked me right before we came on, what did I do yesterday? So I intended to come back, get back a little bit earlier, link up with you, right? So they wanted to go out to the Camarillo outlet, right?
That's
I'm like,
far.
okay, cool. It's like 58 minutes away.
That's far.
No traffic. But no traffic. It's like 58 minutes away. The traffic yesterday was bananas.
And it was on Wednesday. It was just a Wednesday.
It turned into an hour and a half. But before that, we went to the Roscoe's on Pico. Right?
Good spot to visit.
Yeah. So, you know, I got the herb special. That's always my go-to. All white. Hooked it up with a side of the chicken chili.
Oh.
That was new on the menu. I never had it. They let you get it over the red beans or the rice. So I got it on top of the rice. My friend. You got to try it. Yes, sir. Yo, shout out to Roscoe for that little concoction. Of course, I had to have me a nice little sunrise to wash it down.
The best drink. Oh, sunset. The sunset is the one to go to.
The sunset, the sunrise. You know why the sunrise has me?
Wow.
For years, since I was a teenager, I've been coming out here with the family, and I cannot figure out what brand of orange juice they use, man. I used to think it was Tang as a shorty.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, no, it's not Tang.
Something better than that. It's something
better. And I feel bad because everybody's like, why don't you just ask them? And I just feel like that's disrespectful.
That's like asking McDonald's for the secret sauce.
Exactly. So I'm still on the journey to find out what's the brand of orange juice they mix with the lemonade. That's neither here nor there. So we go out to Camarillo, right? You know, they do that thing. They shop. Baby girl was finessing all day, all afternoon,
hitting you with deals and negotiations all day.
Yes, man.
You notice the buy one get one free, 50% off. But I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we go out there, and I save the best for last, right? I let them do their thing, and I'm like, okay, we're getting ready to ride out. There's only one store I want to go to.
Yeah, I only came for one thing.
I only came for one thing. So we go up in the store, right? I'm in the store shopping. Here comes the missus. I found an outfit. What? She never gets anything from Ralph. Never
gets anything from Ralph.
Never. She claims they never have anything nice in the women's section.
Really?
That's it. She had like outerwear, like jackets.
Right, but never a fit.
Never fit.
Never a fit.
So I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. She's like, well, it's a 3-piece fit. I was like, so now we ain't going from a fit to it's a 3-piece.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a whole collection. It's a
right. So I go over there. I'm like, all right, cool. And we're going to check out because I just wanted like summer stuff. I really didn't like the fall stuff they had, so I just got some shorts and So we go to check out, my brother, and here comes the little one around the corner with a purse, right? I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, where is that coming from?
And she just puts it up there with the rest of the stuff. I'm like, dude, look.
Just add that.
It's vacation, cool. Now this is where the kicker comes, man. And you got LL Nation, let me know how you feel. So I'm out of town.
You're out of town.
Right? I'm out of town. Just went to Roscoe's, was at the Grove the day before. So, I've been spending money. So my card is declined, right? So I'm waiting for usually you get the text saying did you try to, make this payment, purchase at this store. It didn't come through.
You get the bing.
Yeah. So I was like, man, let me try it again. It's a mistake. Declined again.
You didn't rub the
No. Because the first time I used my card, the second time I was like, man, let me just use my phone.
Okay, so you trying to switch it up? See,
Yeah,
they got the tap. They got the tap thing now. You just
call, right?
Yeah.
So eventually I have to step away, and this is what I want to know, right? Because I give instructions. I'm like, yo, I'm about to call my bank. I need you to sit this to the side. Don't put anything away. I'll be right back. I'm clearly explaining this, that, and other.
Mm-hmm.
I turn around, dude behind me is like, whatever, right? So I'm like, laughing, right? I'm laughing, right? So I get on the phone. It was
whatever.
It took 8 minutes for customer service to finally pick up, right? So I pick up, and long story short, they didn't even get anything on their end that the card had been declined.
Oh, it was their machines.
So she was like, yo, it's their machine. So
And
now I'm like,
that's hard. It's hard to tell them, it's y'all
you know what I'm
machine.
saying? So I walk back up. I'm like, yo.
But you hyped though.
I got I was cool regardless. I'm like, I knew. I'm like, dude, this is gonna get rectified. I'm gonna get my stuff, and we're gonna be out of here. It was just the whole vibe, because like people are behind you. When something like that happens, a lot of people might feel like I don't feel no shame, bro. I'm like, whatever. Like,
yeah, fix it.
I'm good. I know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm
not tripping.
Right. So I come back, tell them like, this is your machine. Not only that, they asked me for my name because, if you're in the system, you have a number to get the discount. You sign.
Oh, you hit them with the it's 1-35724. Yeah.
So I tell them like my name.
Diamond member.
They brought up another Shaun Davis in the system from another address. So the address wasn't matching my card.
So now you really in there. They got you messed up.
So it's all on them. It has nothing to do with me. So when we figure out the situation, they're very, apologetic, like we're sorry, this, that, and other. And I'm like, yo, it's cool. Like we figured it out. I got my stuff, walk out. And, it was just funny. I just worry about sometimes, man, when people are around, man, you always assume, when something happens with somebody that's checking out, and it's like, don't assume. Like
don't assume.
Yeah, because I've been on the other end. Don't assume. You don't know what's going on. So I walk out. I'm like, yo, save it. I'll be right back. And old boy hits me with the whatever. I'm like, look, man.
Hit you with the whatever? Like, really?
Go ahead with your tight shorts with the packets, with the pockets.
Yeah, I gotta get on you.
Now
I gotta hurt your feelings because you did the most at work, man. You don't get paid to breathe all hard and talk about whatever. You don't get paid for that.
Let's go. Oh, that's what's up. Tropicana is some really good juice. I'm looking at the chat. So let's talk about it, man. You saw right there, that was the opening video for the pot of gold on today. We're going to put up the motivational video that they released as well with Marcus Freeman and the players talking national championship. But we want to get to Marcus Freeman in his press conference. And this is his opening statement when he met the media after the first practice.
I was excited to be back on the field, after day one. And I told the guys after practice I was extremely pleased. But, it was the little things for me that I was pleased at. I was pleased I didn't see a lot of guys on the ground, maybe one or two young guys. I was pleased that we didn't have any fights. And that's not an issue here, It isn't. It's not a competitive issue. I've been at places where you try to initiate fights. Like, we got to fight. We got to see how tough and competitive we are. That's not the problem here. We have to be able to practice together under control, be competitive, but be under control and be good teammates. And it was good to see us get through an entire practice and not have to deal with any melees today. And so I'm excited. I love our staff. It's exciting really for me to hear them teach. That's what I really enjoy, is listening to them. And I told them the other day in the staff meeting, like, I'm not coming into your meetings or into your drills to evaluate as much as I am to learn. I love hearing them teach, and they do an extremely good job of teaching. I'm excited to see what I want to see is our players take over some of that leadership role. Our coaches right now are driving the leadership. Our coaches are pushing our players, but when your players start to push each other and hold each other accountable, that's when you got a special team. So I'm going to keep pushing our guys to continue to have leadership and.
So, we ain't titled this show, Marcus Freeman and what he's building on the YouTube channel. I don't care what we've talked about this. Some people didn't want him. Some people wanted other candidates, Luke Fickell, Matt Campbell, whatever. Like, on this show, we're going to introduce him as your head coach. You don't have a choice. This is your head coach. And what he's building is absolutely amazing on the recruiting front. But what he's establishing, and we'll continue to hear this as we can play more clips, there's a totally different vibe around that building, and you experienced it in practices, and you can speak to it. So when he says, what does that mean from a practice standpoint when no one is on the ground? Like, what does that mean? Is that like a cleaner practice, or why is that a positive?
Yeah, you don't want guys on the first practice. You don't want guys rolling on the ground where you can possibly roll into somebody or fall the wrong way. You really want to. You're really proud of practices like those because you know guys are focused. And
Football-wise, excited to be back on the field.
And you know you guys are focused and getting their work in. So when you have no guys on the ground, you know you guys are competing, but they're taking care of each other. With it being so early in the season, you like Marcus Freeman said, you don't want to see guys fighting or trying to make big blow-up tackles or plays because, I mean, the last thing you want to do is get hurt when it doesn't matter. So clean practices are what you want. The more you stay up, the less injuries that can come about. So I think that's what he was meaning, and for it to be a clean first practice, it'll go a far way.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you saying that because, you know, when I heard that, not playing the game, I was like, well, man, what does that mean? Like, anybody can trip, but a fall. But, you know, I'm like, man, if you're going through skeleton drills or, you know, guys are blocking and competing, like somebody could slip. But listening to you say that, I totally understand. What did you think about him talking about the coaches driving the leadership and he's waiting for now, sidebar, the natural leaders of the team aren't participating. Cam Hart is out with his shoulder procedure. Jared Patterson is out. Those are natural captains for the team. So they're not even participating in the spring, but the other players are there. For him to say he's waiting for the players to step up and really push and bring accountability to the practices, what do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. I think this is time in the spring, the young guys and the guys that were in the class, the lower class of the year before, this their chance to really be the spring chickens and kind of figure out who's the voice, who's the rah-rah guy, who's the guy that leads by leadership, who's the guy that's sticking out throughout the individual drills when you do positions, and the guy that's getting guys together right before you go do team competitive offense versus defense type of drills.
Mm-hmm.
It's important for those young guys to kind of stand out because those are the guys that set the precedent early for the class of who's going to be the future captains, this, that, and the third. But it's also, you know, early on to where everybody's kind of warming up to the new coaching staff and the new coaches. They don't want to just be too outright because at the end of the day, it's still college football where, you know, these guys, a lot of guys on the team, these aren't your coaches. So in a lot of other situations, even though this place feels a lot different under Marcus Freeman, usually in college football, when you at a place when it ain't your coaches, you kind of, you know, walking on eggshells because you like, man, I don't want to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and get replaced by a freshman next year. So some of that spring feeling is just kind of the players and the coaches feeling each other out. I'm sure as the spring goes on and getting into summer, a lot more leadership, a lot more communication between the two will start happening.
Hey, yesterday, and also, that cat Marcus Freeman has a private stash, bro. I stopped by the bookstore when I was there. I didn't see that hoodie, dude.
No.
I didn't see that one. The one he had on with the little Matthew got a little private stash, bro.
He got that one-on-one trip.
I'll be there next Thursday. I'm gonna have to tap him like, yo, you know, you want to sell some on the third market? I got you.
Hey, you know, they make that's custom tailored fit. You know, they don't even, you can't even wear that. They don't fit. You got to have the shoulders and the arms and biceps to fit some Marcus Freeman size.
Man, I might have to send you and Tavon on an excursion, dude, when y'all come up for the blue and gold game. Like, hey, go find
Marcus Freeman's exclusive drip.
Go find Freeman's drip. Yo, what did we say? We were talking about the quarterbacks, and we were telling people that, you know, Drew Pine is putting in work, and he's not about to hand this job over to Tyler Buckner. He's not about to make it easy. And people thought we were playing. We were like, yo, they're really fighting for the position to hand the ball off.
Yeah, they really
like You know, that's the job. Like you look at job description, like the starting quarterback will hand the ball off the majority of the time and be behind a dominant offensive line and must not turn the ball over and make the big play.
Now, this is the first year where the quarterback's role has actually changed into being the guy that's not the guy that's leading the charge, but the guy that's supporting everybody else to make it run. This is the first year in about 10, 12 years where that's been the case, which sets up the team better for a defensive-led structure, for a team defensively like Georgia did last year to take over the team.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, be able to stay in games and score points when the defense is limiting teams to less than 16 this year. I think we can average less than 16 points scored with a talented team like we have defensively. So if we can score over 16, 21 points this season, that's not a tough task for a college football quarterback, especially the likes of a Drew Pine or a TB who's trying to get used to getting in there and trying to start for his first year. For a guy like Drew Pine, you couldn't ask for a better situation. When your job description is handing the ball off and making third down passes and not being the reason why you have to win, this is what Drew Pine dreams for. So this is a good situation for him. For Tyler, this is a good learning stage, but also an opportunity to where you say, hey, you're going to have to put in some plays where I'm getting the rock and making plays myself because that fits my skill set. So it's something to be seen in the spring, which direction they go. Yeah. But I do know one thing for sure. Those running backs are going to be touching that football, and all 5 or 6, however many we got, are going to be tired this spring.
So, right before we get to what Marcus Freeman said about the identity of his team, which is going to make us the prophets based upon what we said yesterday, Tebow Flemister no longer on the roster, and Jason Adamiola is not participating in spring. That's another captain that's on the sideline. So just let you know that backs up what Marcus Freeman was saying about he's waiting for some guys to step up on the field from a leadership standpoint. But this is your coach, Marcus Freeman, talking about why the Lucky Lefty podcast are prophets.
I kind of told him this today in the team meeting, is that I have a vision and identity I want for our team, and that's to be a team that can run the ball and stop the run. Right, I believe in our O-line and our D-line being the foundation of our team, and so I'm excited to see if that can become our identity. That's my vision. I also want to see a team that's aggressive. You know, that's one of our mantras: challenge everything. What does that mean? It means be aggressive. Do not play timid. Do not play scared. Think outside the box, offensively and defensively, schematically. Be okay with taking chances.
What do you say? What's his vision? What's his vision for the squad?
Yeah. Run the ball, stop the run. Run the ball, stop the run. That's it.
What's the foundation? Offensive line.
Tough offensive line, D-line.
Once again.
Recipe to success.
Once again, we said it yesterday. 2 quarterbacks are fighting it out to hand the ball off. That's it. And they better get it done this year.
And this team's identity is very similar to Marcus Freeman's Ohio State team. Physical team led by defense, where they had a great running back. Was that Maurice Clarett at that time? Yeah. Or was it Beanie Wells? Which one? It was either one.
Well, they won the national championship with Maurice Clarett. But he's built, dude. He's a Tressel guy. He's a Jim Tressel guy.
And then you can trust that the one thing you're going to get is consistency and stability. Your linebackers, your defense is always going to be solid. You're always going to have a running game. And with those 2 components, you can win just like we was winning off of the last regime, just in a different way, a more concise way. We're not going to see these close games versus Toledo and Sinclair and Mississippi State Community College.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. That's the first thing. These MAC schools, I want them up out of there. Into the first quarter. Up out of there. Let's get some second string in before halftime.
Yeah, let's get our young guys some reps.
You know what I'm saying? The alumni, they don't want to stand up and cheer anyway. So
yeah, we ain't cheering for that.
Early. Let them get home early. Let some of the other fans come down that want to be rowdy, sit in those seats. I don't even know if that's allowed in Notre Dame Stadium. But it's like, yo, let's go.
Seriously, let's go.
Let's be physical. Let's have an identity, and let's make it happen. Now, he also went on to talk about your head coach, Marcus Freeman, what he wants from his quarterback.
Take care of the football, right? You have to take care of the football. You have to be able to put the football where it belongs. You have to be able to make sure the offense is in the right position to have success, make the right checks, the right calls, but also there's a leadership to it, right? It's the instant credibility of, hey, I'm the leader of the offense, and for most part, a lot of times the quarterback's a leader of a team. Obviously, I believe in a quarterback that, yes, makes good decisions, but also has the ability to escape, right? And that's, we don't need a dual threat as much as a quarterback that's able to escape bad situations. And so that's the things I'm going to look for. Who's taking care of the ball? Who's making good decisions? Who's able to extend plays at times when the pocket maybe fails?
He said, "Did you hear that? We don't
need a dual threat.
We don't need a dual threat. We don't need that. We just need somebody that can escape."
Yeah, which leaves the door open for a quarterback competition. He was like, "Look, Drew, we don't need you running around," which is detrimental to Tyler because that's how Tyler gets going. That's how he gains momentum. He got to run around a little bit.
Yeah.
So now you leave the door open for Tommy to be like, "Oh, word, we don't need a dual threat. Oh yeah, Angeli, Ron Paulus. Oh yeah, we all in the competition now," which is fine because now we can make the quarterback less of a factor in the offense and push everybody else around him up, and we can see if we get some different results.
Your head coach Marcus Freeman also talked about how the quarterbacks have been looking.
You look at it and you got two guys that have playing experience. And, those are the two guys that are getting reps with the ones, and Tyler and Drew. And so it's going to be a great competition. But I've been spending a lot of times with the quarterbacks just as a whole and to try to continue to earn their trust, right, and then get to know them. And so it's a really, really unique group with, Ron and Steve. And they're exceptional thinkers. That's probably something you've heard me say before, but they're extremely smart. I'm learning as a head coach to play the quarterback position is extremely difficult. They have a lot of pressure on their shoulders, and so I want them to know the head coach supports them, and I'm with them, and I want to learn as much as they, as much as on their plate, I want to learn it myself, and so it's going to be a great battle, right? It's the challenge for myself, Coach Reese, is to make sure that we continue to create a room that has healthy competition. We continue to create a room that, everybody wants to be the starter. But these four guys in this room are my brothers, and that, whoever's on that field represents us all.
Hey, man, all I'm saying is what's coming out of his mouth, it sounded a lot more like one quarterback than the other quarterback.
It sounded a lot more like one than the other. It just
That's all I'm saying. Now I see why my boy Drew was out
on the video. He said, I got some leverage. I'm gaining momentum. Marcus Freeman went up there and basically made it so vanilla to where you like, oh, Drew must be in the catbird seat or something.
The people's champ. People's champ, boy.
If I'm Tyler, I'm leaving because this too much.
No, you're not leaving.
It's too much.
Not yet.
I mean, what you got to go through? You got the third stringer jumping you now. You ain't got nothing but time. I mean, you only getting worse if you're not getting better. Remember, Caleb and Tyler Buckner in the same class with same opportunities. We don't see USC talking about, Caleb and this other guy. We don't need a dual threat guy. We just need a guy who don't turn it over.
A month before Caleb even committed to USC, Jackson Dart left. Jackson Dart was like, he's not even here yet, man, but I'm up out of here.
I'm darting. Lincoln Riley Bryant came first day, sat him down and said, hey, there's other places that are good too. Just not here. I got my guy coming. I don't know what to say.
Yo, Marcus Freeman, man, just wants somebody that's not going to make the big mistake, man.
Oh, yeah, that's all. Because the last thing he needs is to play a perfect game.
Yes.
And then you got this quarterback over here messing it all up. As a linebacker, that's why he spent all his time, because he was like, I need to know. So when the game comes and something happens, I'm not surprised.
Right. Right. That's exactly
That's why he said, I know it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
A lot on these guys' mind.
Yeah.
Because I know if I see some crazy stuff, I'm gonna go crazy. So I need to be with you.
Like this, Marcus Freeman is like, look here, man. No, I wasn't looking, a lot of people like want to know what happened in practice and like who was shining. And it's like, no. Tell me what's the identity? That's what I want to know. Because the prophets already told you yesterday. We already told you.
We already know. Yeah, check the weather. We already knew.
Drew Pine, the video told you everything you need to know. 9-yard out to Michael Mayer. Hitch route to Michael Mayer on third down.
Nothing deep.
Crouching route to Lorenzo Styles on third down.
Drag, swing. And you didn't see him doing no cutting, no cone drills, no run. No.
You saw him climb in the pocket too, though.
And that was about 3 feet. That's escape.
I'm just saying. You ain't see no RPO.
We saw what 36 was looking like. Okay, 36 looked like an outcoming.
To all the Tyler Buckner fans out there, we're just having some fun, man. Relax.
We're just having some fun.
Relax. I think that entire staff and everybody in Notre Dame fans everywhere want Tyler Buckner to win the job.
Yeah.
But even if he wins the job, he's handing the ball off. Like, we just want you to know that 60% of the time he's handing that rock off.
He's turning that thing around, or he's keeping it and running it.
That's it.
That's it.
We're running that rock. That's it.
Tyler is running. We might see another hamstring. So we gotta have Drew ready. Because I know Tyler's gonna be running that thing.
We're running that thing. Starting September 3rd. We're running that thing. When the Thunder and Herd come into South Bend, we running that thing.
We running that thing. We might
when the Cal Bears come in, we running that thing. When we go to Chapel Hill, we running that thing. When we go to BYU, definitely running that thing.
Definitely running that thing. It'll be a little tougher because they're a lot older. They some grown men.
When Stanford comes in, 2 teams will be running that thing.
It might be the fastest game in the
fast game. UNLV, we running that thing.
We might throw versus UNLV though.
Running Rebs. You think we'll just go ahead and let them have a field day? Get their 300-yard passing day?
Against that Vegas team? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Right? Then we go up to the Dome. We smash on the Orange Men. We running that thing.
Oh, yeah. But
then Dabo comes to town. We still running that thing.
We might put 2 running backs back there.
Dude. Navy comes to town, 2 teams definitely running that thing. Boston College, USC, we running that thing.
And the best part about it is I don't see us being down more than 2 scores all season because we're running that thing. And I don't see teams.
We need to be up 2 scores all season.
See, I don't know about being up 2 scores, but I know we won't be down by more than 2 scores because our defense is going to be there.
Oh, dude. Lucky Lefty podcast. It was a great question. We just saw a great question. Garland Doxy, thank you for tapping in with us. Do you think those comments will hurt wide receiver recruiting?
I mean, we've had receivers drafted almost every year.
You know what? I think people forget that. Because, you hear the buzz around Ohio State, and I started lining up like the Ohio State wide receivers that are getting it done in the NFL. Like Michael Jenkins is on the back end of his career. You got Terry
McLaurin.
That's 3. Heck, you got Chase, you got Will. You had Michael Floyd coming to an end. Golden Tate just came to an end. I'm like, yo, when it comes,
and then you add all the tight ends,
right?
We got
right, which is definitely more.
I mean, we up there with Ohio State in skill positions.
Look
on relevant skill positions.
Hey man, let me tell you something. there is always a bookmark or a changing point. Just be patient, Notre Dame. That wide receiver room is about to start looking real different.
Yeah.
Dominoes about to fall. That's all we can say. Dominoes are about to fall. Wide receiver room is going to be looking a lot different in the next 2 to 3 years. So our answer to that will probably be, nah, we don't think it's going to have that much of an impact. Not really. Not really. Because even in that type of offense, see, that's the type of offense that Julio Jones blossomed in. Because Bama was running that thing.
Oh, yeah. And Amari Cooper was still going crazy.
Absolutely.
And that's when they was running it 9 times out of 10 versus us.
Right. So, no, big time receivers, as long as they know, especially if they know they're the feature guy, they're cool with that. So your head coach, Marcus Freeman, as we continue this discussion about Marcus Freeman meeting with the press after the first spring practice, he talked about the quarterbacks, he talked about the identity, but then he went on to talk about his new offensive staff and how pleased he is with the job that they're doing. But there's one person in particular that we told you would change the entire tenor and attitude at Notre Dame. This is your head coach, Marcus Freeman. We're kind of the prophets.
I kind of told him this today in the team meeting, is that I have a vision.
Wrong one.
I've been in the offensive staff meetings a few times, but when you bring in a coach Heaston, who is, to me, instantly just brought a demeanor to our staff, to our players. Like, he's brought a demeanor, man, that we're going to go out there and go to work. And that's been great to be around him. And Coach Reese obviously have a previous relationship. And then Coach Stuckey and Coach McCullough, those guys have been great additions to our staff. They're great people. You know, they instantly just raise your energy when you're around them. And Coach Parker is a guy that I've known, obviously, since my days in Purdue. And I knew what he was going to bring to the staff. I knew he was going to be able to gel with those guys and help elevate the play that, that we're looking for in all aspects. And so I've been really, really pleased with our offensive staff.
Who was the first person he talked about that changed everything?
The one that mattered. The one that we said we got him back, we're good.
We're good. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
instantly, the offensive line just got better. Instantly.
He said as soon as he walked through the door, I just knew.
Yo, we're the prophets, man. Might be another t-shirt. And we talked about it yesterday. Hey, I don't know if anybody else gave him a clap. He'll get one from me. Because I know Coach Stuckey did an incredible job on that visit with Carnell Tate. He did his job. That's all you can expect.
And I think Carnell probably received it a lot better because of the fact that Carnell knew what they had before. And he was around it all the time. He was like, I kind of like this guy, not really. But to get Chancey Stuckey in there, now that changed it. That changed
a dude
it.
that's actually played in the league.
So now Carnell Tate can see the upgraded position change, feel even more confident, and then have more a stronger feeling about what's to come, and not like our question before saying, will it damage the receiver recruitment? Probably not. I think Chancey Stuckey really did the right thing.
Lucky Lefty podcast, Shaun Davis, Malik Zaire, talking a little bit about Marcus Freeman and his press conference in the first day of practice. He also went on to talk about the defensive adjustments. So first of all, let me give you guys an update of what the offensive line looked like at the first day of practice. The starting tackles didn't change. You had Joe Audit left, Blake Fisher at the right tackle. Zeke Carrell was backing up Jared Patterson, who's not participating at center. Michael Carmody was behind him, so he's third string. Rocco Spindler is backing up Christophic at left guard. And at right guard, you had Josh Love. And pretty much that's the way it's going. That's the way it's going to go. And Tosh Baker is your second string right tackle, left tackle, I'm sorry. And Caleb Johnson, the sophomore, is backing up Blake Fisher at right tackle. So there you go. The starting five looks like it's going to be Josh Lugg at right guard, Kostafik. Jared Patterson looks like he's going to stay at center. And Blake Fisher and Joe Alt will be your tackles. That's your starting five for your offensive line as it stands right now. So it's pretty impressive. Marcus Freeman also talked about Al Golden. When Al Golden met with the media, he said that he was excited to come in and bring in some new things that will help to enhance what already existed. Marcus Freeman said that in bringing in Al Golden, they wanted to keep the terminology, but he was looking forward to seeing what Al Golden can do to enhance the defense. So today after practice, Marcus Freeman talked about Al Golden, his influence on the team, his influence on the defense, and how things are going on that side of the ball after the first practice.
He's kept some of the things that we did last year, but he's also he's brought a lot of different situational defensive tools. And I think that's what you look in the NFL is they focus a lot on the situational parts of the game. And so what you've seen him today, we had a big red zone day, and we're doing some different things that we haven't done in the past in the red zone. And I think our guys are really, really embracing it. They still understand the things we did last year and how that's a part of our defensive scheme now, but I think they're embracing the enhancement of it. And so they did a good job today. Looked really good.
Now go ahead and talk about that, the NFL influence and the nuances and the intricacies based upon situational football that probably didn't exist, and you might not get a lot of it on the college level.
Well, you get a lot of first-person view. You know, you get a lot of first-person things that they've experienced in a real-life situation outside of just coaching it. So there's things that you can teach from 9 times out of 10, when you're in this position or this leverage, most guys take this release or most guys do this. So there's a lot more focus that goes into understanding situational football when it's coming from guys who did it. So the players are going to take a lot more from that. You know, when we had Coach Light, when he first came in, was given a lot of stuff that he used himself, which the DBs took a lot from. And I remember the first couple times, guys couldn't stop talking about it and working after practice on different techniques. Now, as time got on, you know, he couldn't do that no more because you had to fit the certain system. But now, what Marcus Freeman is installing in the guys' heads is that this is not such a, X and O thing that you see on the chalkboard. This can be more relatable to what I've experienced, what we can show you in person, how we can do it for you, like in terms of showing you an example. And I think that just adds a different dynamic to a team that wants to get better, a team that's young still, and a team that wants to win a championship. So it'll be great.
Well, I'm excited from a teaching standpoint, especially from the secondary. And you look at what Cincinnati did and their defense coordinator Amarillo, Al Golden being on that staff, and how nuanced they were, how good they were, not only preparing for a game, but making in-game adjustments, specifically with their safeties.
Yeah.
If you watch their safeties. So I'm excited to see what he's about to do with this defense, the linebackers, the safeties, especially in the red zone, right? And I hope iron sharp as iron, and those nuances like elevate Tommy's game situationally, his play calling situationally, and he can tap into and have a conversation with Al Golden like, yo, what are you trying to do? How are you trying to come at me at this part of the field, at this time in the game, to kind of prepare him for certain situations and big key moments and big games. I think having Al Golden and staff has a multiplicity of benefits, that just doesn't benefit one side of the ball. I think it benefits the entire squad.
Yeah. And I think that's the best part about it. I mean, you got guys that are probably start reaching out for advice outside of the practice field.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think just the communication piece is greatly enhanced with a staff that's young enough that can be relatable, but also old enough in certain positions where you got Heasted and Al Golden and all the ones in between that give you that seniority enough to where you're taking something from it as a teacher as well. I do think Tommy's game is going to elevate from being around a defensive staff that's put together pretty well. I mean, if you just take the staff itself and put it in any other place, you're getting a high-quality staff with a lot of smart guys.
Yeah.
So Tommy being able to see that every day in practice and pick up on the nuances from Al Golden and Marcus Freeman and Laurinaitis and all the guys over there, I no doubt in my mind believe that the situational football from a quarterback standpoint has to raise. Not that it was terrible last year, but we need to improve and be really good at situational football, especially if we're going to be running the ball a lot. Because there's going to be times when we're in those third and long situations where we need proficiency from our quarterbacks to be smart enough to not be like, okay, I'm going to throw a go route when I can, instead of getting the 6 yards we need to continue to change, So hopefully that falls down and trickles down into the minds of our quarterbacks. But you got guys like Drew Pine who's been around the game, who's, more heady than he is physical. So this is something that he'll probably pick up from a lot as well.
Yeah, some interesting comments we'll get to shortly. But at the end of the day, what I felt from Marcus Freeman was growth as a head coach.
Yeah.
Not a finished product, but growth. First of all, understanding I got a vision. My team is buying into the vision. It's the first day. Got a clean practice. We're not fighting. Everybody's pulling on the same rope. We're going in the same direction. That's all you can ask for at the beginning of a regime for a new head coach. That's really all you can ask for. The talent is there. Talent is always going to be there at Notre Dame.
Always going to be there.
Now people that want to keep that narrative as a black cloud over the program, they're gone. New regime believes in the talent, wants you to know they have talent, wants you to know they're going to continue to go out and recruit the best talent like they did today. Like all the kids I'm retweeting and following, they're following me back from the class of 2024. Look at their bylines. Look at their profiles. It says 5-star, 4-star, 5-star, number one player in this state, number one player in that state. Dude, they went after the top 4 players in the state of Alabama. Notre Dame sent offers to the top 4 players in the state of Alabama. Just think about
now that. What?
Just think about that. Let's think about that.
We would have never done that before.
Never.
Because it's like, well, we wouldn't even – because we wouldn't do a good enough job following through with the offer.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh, it's Alabama country. We wouldn't dare go down there. Elston wouldn't go down there to Alabama, Tuscaloosa. You kidding me?
Yeah, reached out.
Marcus Freeman flying right into Nick Saban's slot at the airport. Just
defensive lineman in the state of Alabama, number one player in the state. Like, yo,
get that degree, man.
Like, yo,
go get that 440, man.
Hit him up. Like, how does it feel to get that offer, that pot of gold? It's a dream come true. What?
Because that pot of gold don't be found in the South that much.
Notre Dame can't pull big men from the South. Like big men, SEC country, they're not interested in Notre Dame. See, those are the lies. Those are the lies that you've been hearing.
Those are the lies they peddling.
Those are the lies they've been peddling to you. And Marcus Freeman is showing you. Nah. We're going to do it the right way, and we're going to make it happen. So let's get to some of these comments and questions. Because people have some very interesting Notre Dame and man, boy, some people in here that think Tyler Buckner's. All right, switch the narrative. They say we need to have a T-shirt saying "switch the narrative."
Narrative's changed already. We waiting for that first game to just confirm it. That's all.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. LL Nation is on a roll today. They putting on their own show in the comments. So there's the question. We got that. I saw another question about the quarterback situation. For how much can you really expect from Tyler Buckner? Like, be honest. A kid that didn't play his senior year, hasn't played a lot of ball, promise athletically.
How much can we expect?
I mean, really, just because you play the position, let people know how difficult. Marcus Freeman said he's learning how difficult the position of quarterback really is. Let people know, because the fan base is like, you got people in the fan base like, oh, he threw for 4,400 yards in high school. He's gonna light it up when he walks to the horseshoe. Man, let people know, like, what that stage is like, and to go from what you saw last season in spot duties to having realistic expectations for Tyler Buckner.
Well, expectations is what makes the difference between all these quarterbacks, and that's what a lot of them can't exceed to, because when you don't have to have expectations to win, it's a lot easier for you to play. You go back to when we were in it, when I was in it 2015 and moving forward. 2015, it wasn't too many expectations because we had a lot of change. It was some drop off. We felt good about the team, but it wasn't until we got out there and started whooping ass until people were like, oh, okay, we're expecting this team to go far. Still didn't have that coming into the season, but after we got into the season, that became the expectation. The season after, they're like, okay, we're expecting you to go to the championship. That little change of expectation on the quarterback position alone, where you go from, all right, we didn't expect this, just don't fuck it up and lose it, to, all right, you're the guy that made it happen, so you got to make it happen this year or we're not going to win. When those expectations occur, you see the difference in quarterback play dramatically. And it's evident every year. That's why I never like to give a quarterback that has one good year all the accolades like these Josh Allens of the world. Because can it last when you're expected to do it all the time? That's why it's like the Laker curse. When you play at Notre Dame, it's like the Laker curse. You can't just be a great player and not be a great player all the time when you're on an expected team to win. That's why Russell Westbrook is facing what he's facing, because he didn't have to expect to be the great Hall of Famer that he's expected to be every night. You can do that in OKC. You can do that at teams where it doesn't matter, but you can't do that when you're supposed to win every game. Look at Ian's career. When Ian went from, all right, just you're transitioning from Brandon, it's okay, whatever you do, we can see the future, to the next year, it's like, okay, we expecting you to come out and win these games. All right, you do that. Now, the next year, we expecting you to beat Clemson, beat Georgia, get into the playoffs, win those playoff games. And when you couldn't do it, it was like, okay, well, we know what we got. So expectations changed the course of a lot of guys' careers. And I think the expectations coming into this season is more transitory than it was last year. Because we really don't know what we're getting from the QB position now, as opposed to, okay, you can lean on Jack being an older guy.
Yeah.
Now the expectations are, okay, what is Marcus Freeman going to show? What's the quarterback position going to look like? With it being so up in the air, if Tyler goes out there and throws for 10 touchdowns, I think people will be excited and encouraged about the future. But I do think it's a delicate balance, though, because he don't got a lot of room. You don't got a lot of room because you're going against a top 5 team in the country your first game.
Yeah.
So if you don't go out there and look kind of impressive, I'm not saying win, because I don't think a lot of people are expecting Tyler to go in there and put the team on his back. But if you go in there and lay an egg and make people be like, where's the people's champ at? It just doesn't make your career any better. It doesn't make it any better unless you play better. Yeah. And being at Notre Dame, it's hard to play better when the chips are down on you. You know what I mean? Because it's too many other factors that you can't control that come into it that can affect your game. But right now, the position that Tyler's in, what he should expect from himself is to be the best in that room and then emanate to be the best in the country. When that was my mindset when I was there, when I was focused on being the best in the room and then being the best in the country from there, it didn't matter what the pressure was at that point because I had the greater pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And that made me always stay on top of my game. So when it came time to play, it was like, you better finally, I was more pissed off that they finally let me play than it was, oh, this is my one chance. And that just for me made the difference on a self-confidence level. And then when you're confident, you can really play well at this position.
And speaking of that, this is what Notre Dame put out for their motivation going into the spring practice. Let me know what you think the expectations are after you watch this.
You remember this feeling, man. Take this pit that you got in your stomach and bottle it up.
Just kind of after the bowl game, left a pretty sour taste in my mouth. And there's a sense of unfinished business.
I want to come back. I want to help Notre Dame win.
How do you not want to be a part of this, be a part of the winning tradition?
Being around the team and the energy and the vibe.
There's a lot of talent on this team. And I want to be a part of the team that wins the national championship.
For me, I really want to focus on being the leader and getting these young guys, right, so we can win the national championship next year.
If anything, it's made me want to work even harder.
I wanted to come back and be with you guys and lead you guys and win this national championship. Now we know it weren't that much harder to finish as champions.
Filling in the piece of the puzzle is exactly what we need to take this place to the next level.
I feel like this team could really win a national championship. That's the main reason why I came back.
Whatever you feel right now, use it when you're going away. Use it in spring ball. Remember this feeling, man, because this is going to be our motivation.
You heard the word national championship 7 different times from 7 different players, and they ended the video with national championship. So you talk about expectations, there they are. No, Marcus Freeman and this program, they're laying out what the expectations are. So it's very clear. It should be very clear for the quarterbacks in the quarterback room and the rest of the roster. Yeah, these are the expectations. And like you said, that's tough. Like trying to develop as a quarterback in a program that's, no disrespect, like middle of the road in the Big Ten, middle of the road in the ACC, talking about like in Iowa or Wisconsin is like, okay, we want to win the Big Ten. Like that's our goal, to win the Big Ten.
But I love the way Marcus is talking because if you look at how Coach Kelly used to talk about the program, he used to talk about it in third person. Oh, we're Notre Dame. We're expected to be a national championship team. We're looking to make that happen. Da, da, da. Marcus Freeman is taking total accountability. Look, guys, this is our identity. This is what I want to do. This is where we're going. And that little change of words has infected the team to where they're talking like that. That's their identity. Oh, we're going to win. We're going to do this national championship. We want to be the best. We're talented. Before it was like, oh, I'm on a Notre Dame team and I got to play up to what Notre Dame is expected to do. There's a difference in that. And I think the team is taking more of an onus of this is on us. We can control this. We can make it happen. And Notre Dame is going to be happy because of that. Not like, oh, I'm at Notre Dame. I got to, do this for Notre Dame and, that feel that same connection. So I just think this is the right steps and the ingredients that we talk about to having a successful championship season.
Got a question from my guy, SGC. Thank you for tapping in, SG. Is Marcus Freeman's quarterback attitude a negative for Dante Moore's recruitment?
I think Dante watching the games is going to be all the negative and positive he needs to see. Because if he's watching the games and he's like, man, I can go do that, that's a positive for us. If Marcus Freeman is in there saying, okay, I don't know, guys, I'm a defensive guy. I like Drew and Tyler. We're just going to rock with both. If I'm Dante, I'm not coming. Because if you can't make no hard decision like that, you the head coach.
Yeah.
I know you ain't going to make no decision like that when it comes to me. Because I do think that Drew and Tyler are 2 different quarterbacks. So it's not like you're like, damn, if I pick one, they're damn near the same player. They're not. So it should be an easy decision. And it's okay. If you like one more than the other, that's okay too. but I think being decisive is going to help the recruitment for Dante, and not being decisive on your quarterback situation and not being decisive on the offensive identity is going to be negative in Dante's recruitment.
Yo, Kai S said he sent you an email. I don't know who the email will come through as, but I'm still mad at that darn hoodie not being in the bookstore, fam.
You're not going to find that drip. They stitched that up themselves in the Golden Dome. They was in there working on his drip.
Oh, dude. Diablo Rivera, Cali, nice place to visit. No place like the Shy, better than Tame. Notre Dame. I'm from the Bend. Used to go to Shy all the time. Was just there for Thanksgiving. Midwest love forever.
We got the seasons in the Midwest. We got them seasons.
Jared Evans said we aren't in the playoffs if we lose that game. I'm assuming he's talking about Ohio State.
Yeah, we definitely not in the playoffs if we lose that game. That's just how it work out. Because Ohio State if they beat us, they're probably gonna win the rest of their schedule.
Yeah.
Alabama and Georgia gonna do what they're gonna do. So that's 3 teams right there. And we saw what happened the last time we lost a game that was good on our schedule. We end up being behind them the whole way, rest of the way to the playoffs. So that's kind of the sucky thing about college football. You damn near got to go undefeated to get into the playoffs.
Yeah. And shout out to Terry Moore for reminding us, yes, Marcus Freeman did say that Joe Wilkins was back out there practicing after his surgery. Good to see him out there.
I want to see him get some love this year. It's his 5th year, right?
I would much rather see the young guys step up than to see Joe Wilkins get love. Man, look.
See, but look, what's his name?
Look, Joe Wilkins and Avery are very dependent.
Avery's dependable.
Joe, look, he caught that touchdown pass against Florida State.
That was first game of the season. That was last time.
No, but then he got hurt the very next week. So I think he would have been pretty dependable last year. But at this point, God bless him, man. I'm ready to see these youngsters splash on the scene.
You got to hit them with it's not enough football to go around.
I'm ready to see Zoe, Cozy, Jaden Thomas take that next step with some actual coaching, man.
Tyson Ford, shit. I'm trying to see him.
Tyson Ford looks like he's been in that weight room, bro.
And it sucks when them young guys come in because we so excited about them.
Yeah. It's like, yo, you can tell, like, oh, young bull been in that weight room.
Young bull been right.
Young bull been in that weight room, man. So, man, yeah, it's a lot to be excited about. It's a lot to be excited about. And the first practice is just the beginning. The attack of the pot of gold is totally different. The kids, like I said, the kids that are getting offers now, and because you never got pot of the gold, they didn't have that going.
They started doing all the fun stuff after I left.
After you built up the program with your blood, sweat, and
after our class literally made the change in the program for the better.
Right.
They dropped all this stuff after. But I think it was a good thing because I probably would have went too crazy with the NIL and all the amenities, and then Marcus Freeman being from Dayton, we would have had a Dayton party in the office and people would have got jealous, and it just have been too much.
Lucky Lefty podcast, we spin it different. Featuring and brought to you by Anora Whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. First day of practice, a ton of visitors coming in this weekend from the 2023 class and the 2024 class, headlined by St. Louis running back Jeremiah Love, someone that Malik said reminded him of Greg Bryant when he watched the film. Look out for that. Carl Reed is going to join us. Coach Carl Reed from 247 Sports. He's on vacation now, but he's going to jump in and join us Friday to talk about the adjustments in recruiting and what coaches are going through now. And then we'll talk a little bit more and get to more of your questions. It's For the Culture Friday, so we'll send out the link towards the end of the show. You guys get a chance to join us on screen, ask any question that you would like or make any statement. All right? You know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Shout out to our boy Will Chestnut, day one. Said he wants to make the petty train one day. That's what's up. That's what up. Petty Junction, pettiest stories of the day. So, look, my man, Kevin Durant on the petty train. On the petty train. And Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie definitely is on the petty train for that post-shot celebration.
Yeah, he went over and shook. Who was the guy he shook his hand? Was that the owner or something?
No, he shook hands with security. And then Mark Cuban ran on the court and gave him a hug. But the man was dapping up security that he knew from back in the day.
He went straight over to him, didn't he? He went straight over to him. He didn't even really celebrate. He went straight over to start dapping him up. I told you,
I told you, dog. I told you what was going to happen tonight.
You would have thought he made a side bet before the game. He's like, I'm about to get this game winning. And they were betting on it and stuff. And he ran over there,
it's crazy. So, on top of that, during the game in the fourth quarter, I think it was 11-point lead for Brooklyn going to the fourth quarter. No Kyrie because it was a home game. KD was having a tough night. And it was about 4 minutes left, and the lead had been cut to like 3 points. And a fan recorded himself saying something to Kevin Durant, and this is why I had to put Kevin Durant on a petty train, man.
You got to take this game over. You got to shut the fuck up.
So the fan said, hey, KD, you got to take this game over. KD said, you got to sit down. It's like, right. KD, yo, he's trying to encourage you. Like, he's a Brooklyn fan. Like, yo, take the game over. And you like, dude, KD is like, man.
This is what you said, though. You said they're going to be tired of fans just saying anything to him.
Dude, I told you, it's coming. It's coming. The fuse is there. The short fuse is already there. I tried to tell you a couple of weeks ago, like, yo, this is where it's going. And that fan really didn't say anything.
What you gonna say? You was trying to encourage him.
That's all.
You got to take this game over. You got to shut the fuck up.
Jalen Bronson and the Mavericks is in the corner laughing. Like, what? That's like, what did you just say?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that you talking stuff to somebody encouraging you. Usually, if it was a hater, you'd be like, yeah, okay, he's a hater, whatever.
Yeah. But
Kevin Durant, man, he just can't buy a win, man.
Yeah, next up on the petty train, you got Spencer Dinwiddie, you got Kevin Durant, Ryan Clark. ESPN's Ryan Clark, man. So this morning on Get Up, they were discussing the comments from your guy, Sierra's husband, who's the new quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Russ said at the press conference yesterday that, he looks to win multiple championships in Denver and play for 10 to 12 years. So that's a lot to open your eyes like, oh, word? The championship I get, because that's all talk. You stand at the press conference like, yeah, I think we can win championships here. 10 to 12 years, dude.
That's a whole nother career.
So,
like you're starting from zero.
Ryan Clark got real petty with the situation on Get Up.
And what Russell Wilson is seeing, that I got Jerry Jeudy, that I got Tim Patrick, I got Cortland Sutton, I got KJ Hamler, I got Javonte Williams behind me. I have a great defense on the other side. And I'm out of Seattle. That's why Russell Wilson is saying things that happy people say. Like on your wedding day, you say happy things. Like, you know what? I'm going to be married forever. It is going to be great. We are never going to argue. We're going to get along perfectly. And then 2 years into the marriage, you realize, you know what? I may have oversold it. It's still good. It just ain't as good as I thought it was on the day she was walking down the aisle. That's what happens. If he does play 10 more years, that's a good thing. And he can, because we're seeing quarterbacks play that long. If he does win 1 Super Bowl, that's a good thing. And it's worth it. Guys, let's not break down and critique everything that everybody says, every way that they say it, and just be happy that people are happy. It's the honeymoon phase. It's the wedding, guys.
Yo, he's right. He's right. These press conferences are literally like the wedding, dude. It's like everybody's saying everything perfect. Everything's going to be beautiful. And unfortunately, Russell Wilson's going to have to walk out on that field and play. And he's in the same division with the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Like, all of that good stuff you're talking about now sounds real good.
Sounds real good till you realize you're in the toughest spot you can be in.
Right.
And it's crazy too, because like he said, it all sounds good. Yeah, you can see that far in the future, but your division's kicking ass.
Yeah.
And you're not a young man.
No.
Those are young men in your division.
No doubt. No doubt.
So you better hope you're playing good enough to last that long.
And on top of that, he's right, dude. It's cool to say it all at the press conference. But if you can't back it up on the field,
you don't mean nothing.
Like, I'm sorry, man, but I didn't think that I would go into my situation thinking that it was the best. You know what I mean?
So how did you?
You know what I'm saying? No, because it's like you know, it's gonna be tough times, bro. You just know.
So what is the
go in like, oh my God, we will never ever argue. Hey, bro, this is somebody said, this is why I pulled it up. Somebody said in the chat that this is you remember this is the Young Guns video.
Oh yeah, straight up.
Day. Somebody said this is them pulling up in Denver. Somebody said that's Russ and Sierra pulling up in Denver.
That's definitely Russ and Sierra pulling up in Denver. Cold, but always fly. And it's somewhere exclusive. You know it's gonna be somewhere exclusive in the cabin.
Oh my God, I had to play that. Dude.
I'm just tripping. I just think it's a little weird. Russell in Denver, I wouldn't expect it,
So what's even weirder is that Deshaun Watson reportedly is down to his final 2 teams. He's eliminated the Cleveland Browns. He's eliminated the Carolina Panthers. And it's the Saints and the Falcons.
Oh, yeah, go home. Easy. Go home, man.
Say easy. This is the kicker, though. You know who's loving this? The Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, yeah.
I would take Matt Ryan in a heartbeat.
You think, it'd be a three-way trade? If I'm the Colts, I'm definitely trying to get Matt Ryan because I would win the division and be in the playoffs easy.
For sure. Oh, you think they challenge the Titans?
Come on. I like Matt Ryan with a great offensive line.
Yeah. Offensive line and running back.
They're easy in the playoffs if they can find a way to do that.
Yeah.
Put Deshaun, get him home.
Yeah.
And start building with him. He's going to get the team.
Yeah. I agree with that. Deshaun in Atlanta, Arthur Blanks would love that. It would rev up what has been lost with the age of Matt Ryan. They've kind of lost the buzz around the Falcons. You bring home a Georgia kid like Deshaun Watson, you build that back up, and you start to build around him. And Deshaun has proven that he can put up numbers without top talent at the skill positions. He did.
But his first couple of years are going to be tough because they don't have no offensive line.
No
they
defense.
They got no defense. And your weapons are old or hurt or suspended. So it's basically him going to the Texans again.
Yeah.
So the first years, and then you're in a tough division. You got Tom Brady in there. You don't know who the Panthers guy is going to be, but the other two teams is going to be pretty solid. Or maybe not. I mean, the Saints, who knows?
Yeah.
Panthers, who knows? But
the quicker path to the chip though is definitely New Orleans, even with Dennis Allen as the head coach, because they are the kryptonite to Tom Brady.
They are the kryptonite.
Like that defense has been the only defense that Tom Brady just
can't get right.
Especially in the regular season. Like he beat them in the postseason to get to the Super Bowl, but they have given Tom Brady fits.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dennis Allen knows. He must know some tails or something.
Well, some teams just got you. Some guys just got your number. They know what to call, what you don't like. And, those players always the Saints play a little bit more inspired when they play Tom Brady every time. I haven't seen them. They always play with their hair on fire for sure.
Jeff Fluke says Freddie Freeman and the Braves on the Petty train. Well, Freddie Freeman is he splits time between Atlanta and LA. So him choosing the Dodgers, I get it. As a baseball fan, I almost want to throw the Dodgers whole organization, Urban Magic Johnson and the rest of the ownership group, man. Y'all, dude, stop just spending money, man. Y'all just spend money on everybody, man. It's just unfair. They just spend money. Look, we want Freddie Freeman. We'll go get him. We want Mookie Betts. Let's go get him.
Let's go get him.
We want Scherzer. Let's go get him. Like, dude. And Petty train. Fernando Tatis Jr. Out 3 months with a broken wrist, fractured wrist, motorcycle accident. I don't think you're telling the truth, my brother. I don't know what you were doing.
Yeah, if you get in a motorcycle accident, you break your wrist, something else got to be broken.
Yeah, just something's not adding up. Just ain't.
Look, now you gonna question it?
No, it's kind of like Carlos Boozer saying he tripped over his duffel bag when he broke his wrist in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, hit him with the whole duffel bag trip.
Yeah, I tripped over my duffel bag in the hotel room. Like, all right, dude.
But then again, you got guys like who was a quarterback for Philly that slipped in his home and tore his ACL before the game? Kevin Cobb.
Kevin Cobb, yes.
Before the game, slipped and tore his ACL. That's how Mike Vick got to the top. So it's believable, I guess.
Shout out to Will Chesnick. Yes, that was the funniest part. Ryan Clark said, "I'm going to be married forever. I may have oversold it." like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I was given the tools, man. Thank you, man. Huge thanks to my parents for being like totally transparent. Like, yo, like I knew. Like, you get to a point where it's tough. Like, I literally remember my mom, and she might be mad for me saying this. I literally remember my mom sitting me on the side of the bed as a teenager saying, if this happens, who would you go with? She literally asked me that question. And I broke her heart. I know I broke her heart.
You broke her heart because you was asked on the spot. So you wasn't really.
No, I broke her heart because he was my little league coach. That's where I was. Yeah. Like, I can't lose him. Like,
no, straight up.
For my sports, that's my lifeline.
That's my guy.
I'm gonna have to rock with him. And it wasn't personal, but it's like, hey, and that as a kid and just other conversations let me know, like, so bro, when I went into it, I knew, like, all right, I'm gonna have to be ready. I'm gonna have to strap up, put my seatbelt on, lock in. Heck yeah. But I love it. 30 years out.
30 years out.
Met that girl in 91.
Jeez, you ain't oversold that one.
Yeah. So So we thank you for everybody. Von Miller, yeah, Jeff, he went to a Buffalo. That contract is fat. The guaranteed money is a little light, and it's front loaded the contract. But dude, you can get at this point in his career, you can get $42 million guaranteed. That's all right. That's all right.
How is he pulling that? He act like he a young man. That's a second contract money. Like I don't know what.
Vaughn is only what? 4?
He's 34. He's like 30, 33, 34, ain't he?
Yeah, he's like on his 4th contract.
He got second contract money with a good 6-year. Like you act like he ain't never been hurt before.
Yeah. I agree.
So I don't know. His agent needs a bonus for real.
Smash the like button. Smash the like button. We appreciate you guys. You got us to 2K on the subscriptions. We'll be there April 23rd. I'm leasing out that day to Notre Dame for a few
hours.
You know what I mean? We'll be in town. Legacy weekend, former players, Honora Whiskey, events. We're going to make it happen. So join us at the Blue and Gold game. It should be lit. That whole weekend should be lit. So for Malik, Zaire, I'm Shaun Davis. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Another